Hey everybody, welcome back to Half-Ass Gaming. Disaster D-Day number, let me check the number 9. Okay, so to wrap up turn 1, all we have to do is complete the allied combat turn. So I made a mistake. I'm about to fix it in this turn right now. I'm about to fix it, and then we're going to complete this turn 1. We're just going to complete turn 1. All right, so here's where I made a screw up. Okay, let me just get this guy straight up here. He's screwing with my OCD. All right, so here is where we made a screw up in the game. So remember the 2 units for the Americans that I put in reserve? And I moved them 1 hex, 1 movement point. Well, apparently, if you have a reserve, if you designate units to be reserve, well, guess what? They cannot move into an enemy zone of control, which, you guessed it, is exactly what I did. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to redo it. I'm going to go back to the allied movement phase. I'm just going to take the reserve off of them, remove them, and then attack with them. So like they never were designated reserve. So let me grab the reserve things off. You cannot move them into an enemy zone of control, which is what I did. Absolutely. 6-4 was right here. The 3-3-6 and the unit under were right here. I moved them 1 hex, 1 movement point. You can't move into an enemy zone. Okay, so let's rewind and just go back to the initial allied movement phase. So let's just say regular movement phase, I moved them to the locations that they are. And now that I'm finishing up the combat phase, they're going to blast that friggin' OST unit, both of them. So I got to figure out who is here. I think it's just a 6-4 on this stack right here. Yeah. It's a 6-4 right there, 4th Infantry Division, and underneath him is a 6-4, 4th Infantry Division. So what we're going to do here is we're going to have both 6-4s attack that 2-3 with the 3-3-6 tank unit, and they're all going to be part of the MAV. The MAV is the 6-4 that's under the tank guy, so he's attached, and the 6-4 that's next to him is also part of the MAV. So what is that? 15 to, I guess I got this friggin' hangnail I gotta get. I'm trying to cut it off. Well, anyway, so it's the OST apparently is a 2, and he gets 2. He would have got 3 if he was a 3 for DCB for Bocage, but you can't have more DCB than what your unit's worth. So it's going to be 4. So the way I see it, it's 15 to 4. 4 goes into 15, what, 3 times? 3 to 1? Okay, so 3 to 1. And notice how the Americans are zeros when it comes to TQ, and the OST is a -2. So I guess that means, is that 2 on the DCB or is it 1? Maybe somebody can highlight and let me know whether that's going to count as 2 on the DCB or 1. Right now, for the purposes of doing this a combat, I'm just going to chalk it up as a +1 for the Allies, okay? That takes them to 4, and then when you add 4 to 1, and when you add the armor for the tank, you're going to have a 5 to 1. So again, it's 3 to 1 for ratio. We're going to call it 1 for TQ. It could possibly be 2. I don't know. I'm not even going to pull her. I'm just going to give the defender the benefit of the doubt here. And then when you add the armor, it's a 5 to 1 attack. Okay? Yeah. All right, so let's roll our 5 to 1 attack, and hopefully they just kill this guy. So let's see what happens. 5 to 1. Allies roll high here so we can kill him. They roll a 4. Not bad. 4 on 5 to 1 is a D1. 4 on 5 to 1 is a D1, and if he's a single step unit, he's dead. And that's all I was looking for. Yeah, he's actually dead. The OST is dead. Okay, so let's talk about advance after combat. Well, these guys want to bust out. So, and remember, they don't have to go to the vacated hex, which I love in Mark's games. I love that shit. He's going to go right here. All right. He's just going to go right here. And actually, he could go on top of that. He could actually, remember, the German strong points are not projecting a zone of control. So what I'll do is I'll just do it like this. I'll say the guy came off the scattered. He goes here for 1, and then he'll go jump on top of him. And then these two right here are simply, they're going to move out, and they're just going to go 1 hex. They're just going to go the 1 hex. So these guys, you can see they're trying to move north. They're trying to move northwest. And that's what you get. Okay, so that's the end of the Allied combat. And let's go to the sequence of play. Just let's wrap this damn turn 1 up, shall we? All right, so after this, what we have, there's 3 things that are going to come off in the recovery phase. Okay, so we don't go to reserve mode because we just skip that because I can't move into an enemy Zoc. Allied recovery phase. The Allied player, and here it says 2 of the 3 things. 3 things can come off as far as I know. But if you sit here and you look at this on page 4, it says Allied recovery phase. The Allied player also removes all regroup markers and scattered markers. That is true. Both of those come off, but it doesn't make mention of what's the other one? Disrupted. So it's regroup, scattered, and disrupted are going to come off. The allies in this game have all 3, so they're all coming. And then the Allied supply phase we want to talk about. We'll get to that last. Let's take a lot of these markers off. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move out and get the big picture here. So we're actually in here. Let's just get rid of the scattered. There's quite a few of them in here. Scattered. You're out. You're out. You're out. So the scattered are coming off the paratroops, which means that they can basically be active next turn. That's it for that. Do we have any disrupted? Yeah, well, we got to move to the Commonwealth area. All right, anyways, so this regroup is going to come off of these guys. Right? He comes off of that. This disrupted comes off. It's all coming off, baby. And then down here, barely in your picture, this disrupted comes off. Now we talk about Allied supply. So I'm looking right now, I'm looking at the Allied supply for the peninsula. They're all good. Even the Beaches, Omaha, the Rangers, they're all good. Now we move over here and we have a problem. I feel, and I'm gonna house rule this shit right now. Is the Brit pair is over here. Now if you look from the bottom, they're out of supply. Are they out of supply, John? Yeah, I feel that they are because of this unit right here is blocking their supply. They really have nothing going to the northwest. Yeah, they can't go, the supply line can't go to the northwest. How about due north? No, to the northeast, I don't feel like it can go. The only thing that they technically could do is the southeast is running out here into 1 Zoc, and then technically you have supply coming out through the bottom, all right? But because this is moving away from the beaches, I'm going to be realistic and be like, you know what? Theoretically, technically by the book, these guys could be in supply. But listen, this supply route running to the southeast is not realistic to provide those pairs with a supply. So I'm going to house rule this shit and say these guys are out of supply right now. If anybody feels like they should be in supply, feel free to argue your case, but it's not going to change my mind. I just feel like those guys are out of supply. A supply line running southeast out of there is just, it's not realistic. I'm going to call it. I'm going to house rule that shit. So that's what you have. I have the paras out of supply. I have everybody else for the Allies in supply. So let's basically look at what's gone down in this first friggin' turn. In this first friggin' turn, yep, I'm not gonna show the. All right, well, I'll actually show that. There you go. You see the debacle that's going on at Omaha Beach. I think the Germans kind of screwed up there. They could have threw one of those stacks into the ocean, and they've learned from what they've done wrong, and they're going to take care of that next turn. Then you look at the Commonwealth guys right here, minimal gains. And then over here in the peninsula, 4th Division, and the Americans, they're I feel that they're doing okay right there. I feel that they are. So, and to overall, I think what you have during the first term for the Germans, I think the Germans rolled like shit in those few attacks that they made, and they definitely did not capitalize on what they needed to do, and I feel like it was a missed opportunity for the Germans to do something against the Allies where they were in the fragile state of just landing on the beaches. I think they had a missed opportunity with the shitty rolls, ones, twos, and then you would think that during the Allied turn, their turn one, that they would come out like gangbusters. And what do? They're like Germans, hold my beer, we'll show you some shitty rolls, and they rolled shitty. So both sides rolled shitty. And who does that benefit? I feel like it kind of still benefits the Allies because they have just men and machinery just waiting to get onto the continent. So, it could have been worse for the Germans. I mean, they're going to bring up, and this next turn, when people start getting reinforcements and replacements, you're going to see on June 2nd, Panzer Lehr comes in along with the 346th Division. And they also get a Tiger unit. Okay, and then on turn 3, Das Reich comes in for the Germans. Now, the Allies are going to get a bunch of shit, but some of those beaches are still closed. Omaha Beach is closed. Friggin' Sword Beach, not still closed. And both sides are rolling like shit, and we know the weather is going to be either overcast 2 or 3. So like I said, this turn, look for Panzer Lehr. I was thinking about this, and I was saying I know they're coming in from the bottom down here. They're coming in from these entry hexes down here. What am I going to do with them? And I thought the only smart move for Panzer Lehr is to set up shop between Bayau and Caen. In here, you got prime tank country. So I think this is where you're going to see Panzer Lehr set up shop, right between 12th SS and 21st Panzer. You're going to see him set up shop right there. And then by that time, I think you're going to see maybe Das Reich heading toward the peninsula on turn 3. But definitely what I can tell you is Lehr is coming between Bayau and Caen. They're going to get into that gap, and because that's where the Allies are gonna try to thrust into. All right, that's it for turn 1. You saw a lot of shitty rolls. You saw modest gains for the Americans in the peninsula. You saw 2 beaches get stopped cold, and the Commonwealth modest gains on Gold and Juno beaches, and Allied men and material, can it overcome the Germans? That's to be determined. I don't know. It's up in the air. What else can I say? Anyways, I'm John. Hope people are watching this and learn. I'm actually learning. I haven't played this for a while, and I'm learning. Like, there's a lot of minutia in here. There's a lot of minutia. Like, for instance, like reserve. Like last night, I found out you can't move a reserve unit into a hex that is in a zone of control. So that's why I had to back out of those 2 reserve movements. And then last night, like other times, like I'm reading, and it's like I have a unit that is a Panther unit, an armored battalion, and it's got a Panther silhouette, and you can only upgrade Panther and Tiger units if you roll a 1, which is a storm. Only during storm turns can you upgrade Panther and Tiger units. It's that type of minutia. I mean, this is not a complicated game, but there's just tons of little minutia that will trip you up, and I'm going to try to keep those trip ups to a minimum, but I'm enjoying the hell out of this. So I'm going to play this to the distance, at least to like the 7-turn campaign or whatever. But I'm looking forward to turn 2. That's probably just going to be my last video for this weekend. So next weekend I'm going to move into turn 2, and there's a lot more shit that gets introduced. Replacements, reinforcements are coming on. I think the Allied air game starts up in turn 2. So there's going to be all sorts of... So what does it say on the track? Attack on Kasabek, repulse Bayal Falls. Okay, and like, okay, so whatever. And you're going to see some more aspects of the game introduced next turn. That's going to be next weekend. All right, I'm enjoying making these videos. I hope somebody... I know there's a few people out. This is going out to 320 people. I know there's a few people that are getting into this, and that's good. So I like making them. We'll keep them coming. Till next time, I'm out. Bye-bye.